What's going on, everyone? This is Don here again. Today is a long-awaited review I've been trying to do for a while, but just ain't had the time to get it done. I wanted to review my Dodge Viper seat swap. So today we're gonna do over two things. It's gonna be a two-part video. The first video is just talking about the Gen 2 Dodge Viper seat swap, and then the second video is gonna be about the Revsoft steering wheel swap I did back 2 years ago, December of 2021. And we're going to talk about just the pros, the cons, was it worth it, and should you do it, and should you not do it? Is it worth doing it for you to do it? So that's another thing again, is it worth for you guys to do it? Maybe for me, everybody has different preferences, but at least it'll give you an idea on should you do something, should you do something. So yeah, let's get into it. So first thing I want to talk about, let's talk about overview of the Dodge Viper Gen 2 Dodge Viper C swap. So long story short, when I first got the Vet, coming from BMW, I had a B92 BMW 335i, had a 135i, and I also had a Golf R. I always thought the seats in the E92 were some of the best seats I ever had. Golf R seats were really good as well. It's just, be honest, I got the Vet, I hated the seats. Excuse my language, fucking hating the seats. I had to get out of them. Like, first day I got it, because when I first got my Vet, I actually had seats that the seats were my Vet had 106,000 miles when I bought it. The interior seen better days. We'll get into that too, but the seats were torn, like destroyed. The driver's seat was destroyed. The passenger seat was decent. Driver's seat was destroyed. The bottom, like, I drove it back 5 hours from I drove 5 hours to get the Vet, drove it back, and when I had, it was literally like digging into my thighs because pretty much the foam inside the seats wore out. So I knew instantly I had to get new seats. I started off with doing I ended up getting seats from because I couldn't find I have a 4LT Vet, so trying to find a seat that matched the black and gray seat was damn near impossible. So I ended up having to go with a silver seat, a gray seat from someone, like, I think a 06 Vet. So I had those in for about 6 months. Ended up, but while I was doing it, I always said, man, I want to do a seat swap. And at first I was going to do aftermarket. I was looking at Spark R100s, Core Brews. I think that other seat, I forgot that seat that everybody, I think it's the Evo X or something. I forgot what that seat's called, but it was that seat. But it was looking at an average of like almost $1,800 to $2,000. I was like, do I really want to spend that right now? I kind of didn't. So then I started looking into OEM seat swap. So I saw somebody did Evo X seats. I saw somebody did S2000 seats. And I also saw somebody, what I was actually going to do originally was the Gen 3 Dodge Viper seat swap. But something told, then I started looking at Dodge Viper seats, and then I said, I wonder how the Gen 1s and Gen 2s would fit. So I looked in Gen 1s. Gen 1s were nice, but they're a little older. I heard things about the Gen 1 seats that they had a recall with something, the recliner breaking up. I don't know. I don't know if it was true or not, but I personally thought it was a little too narrow. Then I looked at the Gen 2 seats, and I was like, they're a different type of design. One thing I liked about the Dodge Viper seat was the front recliner. The recliner, let me show you guys in another video. The front recliner is in the front of the seat. So it's the recliner sit in the front, and so you don't have a side recliner. So it gives you more space. One thing, the issue with, especially with the C5s is worse because you have the seat belt, whatever that's called, the coil, whatever I'll probably add what the real name is in the video, but it sits right here, so it gives you the width that you can put the type of seat you can put in. It limits you. Oh, another thing I wanted to do. The reason why another thing I wanted to do that was a must for me was I really wanted to keep the stock power seat rails. I wanted to see if I can make a seat work on the stock power seat rails. Um, Now we go get into that as well as I get deeper into this video about some of the pros I like about the seat, and this can go into people that's also looking at you, hey, you looking at racing or whatever. We'll get into that later. We'll touch on that later. But yeah, I wanted to have a seat that sit on the stock rail. I wanted to have a seat that can fit, that I can utilize, go fully forward, forward back. Don't lose a lot of leg room, and also don't lose a lot of the reclinability. Um, so this is why I decided to go with these seats. It was a risk. I took a risk. I also didn't want to spend over $1,000 on seats and they didn't fit, and I'm out of money. So I got these. I found these seats, as you notice in the video I'm gonna show voiceover video. Seats are not in the best shape. They're not. I got them for $500. Um, they seem, like I said, they're not bad, but again, I also plan to recover them anyway. So yeah, so I ended up getting these seats, and I was able to get them mounted to the stock seat frame rails, the stock power rails. And it was not hard, but it was not easy. You have to kind of match them both up, and I didn't do it. I didn't do a professional job. I kind of just made a slotted hole so I can kind of adjust the seats on the rails to make sure they can fit right. Um, but yeah, so I got that to work, and then yeah, it took only about two. I got them in. I had rails from my seats that first came out of here. And I had new seats that I got that had everything on them, all the accessories and everything. So I ended up taking the rail, kept all of the I kept the memory seat uh module, power seat module, everything on these seats work. I just still have to figure out how to get them working as far as looking cleaner. Like it's still a work in progress. Um Yeah, so this is, yeah, that's the overview of them. So as you can see, this is where I put all of the controls. This is the stock power rail. This seat still is a work in progress, but this power seat controls are right here for that. Also, all the power seat. Also, power memory. When I press the memory button, seats work as they should. They work on the memory functions. So then also, I'll show you another thing I did. I know you saw this right here. I don't know if some of you guys know what that even is, but check this out. As you notice, as you can see, over 5 seconds goes into the start position. As you can see here, I have no airbag light. This right here, now granted, believe me, I don't know how safe that's going to be in the car accident. That's why I stuck it in there, but that's the side airbag for the seats. Instead of putting the resistors in, which I heard I kind of hit a miss, I kind of just took the old airbag out the stock seat and put it and tucked them on the side. So I have no airbag light. Also ignore my cracked windshield. As you see, when I put my seatbelt on, disappears. Also, let me show you guys this too. So I'll notice here. So if I sit, so right now it says passenger airbag off. I'll zoom in. So if I sit in the seat though, passenger seat, passenger airbag light goes on. So what I did was, great thing about these seats is it was easy just to sit the bladder inside. So if I get up, if it goes off, if I sit down, it cuts the airbag on. So for safety reasons, I wanted to have the airbags at least working, at least the front airbags working properly. So I got it now with these seats. When you sit in them, airbag bladder comes on. Airbag light comes on because I got the occupancy sensor set into the seat.